Welcome everyone to the Rewire and Rise experience. I am Julie. I am so happy you're here and we're going to get started. So I always start my calls with wins. So you are here right away. That's a win. Ring my little bell for you. You're winning just by being here. But please type in the chat what is going right for you in the world of habits and setting intentions. What's going well? It is the month of June. We are calling in what we want for ourselves. So please type in the chat what is going right. You're here. That's a win right away. Way to go. What else? Stephanie, yes, you are here. Amazing. I'm so glad. I'm so happy to have you. Everyone gets a ding for that. And if you're watching the recording, that's a win too. Committing to yourself on a Saturday. What a big deal, right? So good. The weather is a win. Okay, Tracy, enjoy that weather. Who else? What else? And not join. Interesting. Okay. Uh, anyone else? Other wins, other things to celebrate. Julianne, finding time for the things I already decided to do. That is great. Because in doing that, you're showing your brain this is a commitment. This matters to me. We make time for the things that matter. Suzanne, sunny day, delving into the lessons today. Awesome, Suzanne. I love it. I love it. Fantastic. All right. So we are going to take a mindful pause just to ground ourselves. So I always recommend placing your hands over your heart center. This gentle touching of your heart center is releasing oxytocin into your system. It's like giving yourself a hug. It slows your heart rate down. And then, if you can, gently closing your eyes or gazing at the floor, taking a nice, slow, deep breath in through your nose and exhaling twice as long. And again, nice deep breath in through your nose and exhaling twice as long. Coming into this moment and this breath right now. So letting go of everything that happened up to this moment and not worrying about what's coming next. Just breathing, being here now. All we actually have is right now, this moment. So just noticing the breath, watching the air as it moves all the way into your body on the inhale, and then all the way out of your body on the exhale. Using every breath as a chance to begin again. And then gently, slowly, when you're ready, opening your eyes, coming back to the call. Thank you for doing that with me. Noticing if there's any shift in your energy, in your focus. So think about how you were feeling before we did that 1 minute of breathing. And then how are you feeling now? And can you see a difference? Is there any difference? I know I was rushing. I had a hectic morning and I feel completely calm now. Stephanie, I feel more love and compassion. Ah, what beautiful, expansive emotions, Stephanie. Really revel in that. Fantastic. Tracy said, yes, calmer. Amazing. I'm so happy to hear that. That's awesome. Uh, Julianne, more present. Okay, fantastic. I love it. I love it. That's awesome. All right. I am going to share my screen with everyone. Here we go. Suzanne said, ditto, Julianne. So I guess, Suzanne, you're feeling more present. That's fantastic. All right, just a quick disclaimer. The advice and coaching that I give on this call is not a substitute for medical advice, right? Or nutritional care. It's just for educational purposes only. And getting that out of the way, in case you don't know me, I think most of you do, but if you don't know me, I'm Julie. I am a life coach. I'm a retired educator. I am a mindfulness facilitator. I am a positive neuroplasticity teacher. Thus, Rewire and Rise is the name of my group program. We'll talk about that later. I am a very proud mom. I am a Brooklynite and I am a seeker of unexpected urban beauty. That is a little bit about me. I'm also a Francophile. And I want to talk today about shifting identities, right? Because my group program, it's called Rewire and Rise because it's all about rewiring our brain, taking habits that no longer serve us, rising up above them, right? Rewire the brain so that we can rise up and step into this new identity, right? And you want to fully become who you're becoming. I know that sounds kind of funny, but we have all these intentions. Are we becoming that person? Right? And the thing about positive neuroplasticity is that our identity is actually malleable. Our identity can shift and change, which is so amazing. We have neuroplasticity up until we die. Our brains are not fixed or static. Our identity can change. We can become whoever we want to be. It's really a matter of internal changes that we make. And that's all about the beliefs that we are thinking because our beliefs shape our behavior. Um, I really want you to take that in. Our beliefs shape our behavior. Stephanie said, I want to identify as someone who can do hard things. Amazing. I love that. I love that, Stephanie. So I was asking, who are you outgrowing? And Stephanie, you're answering it as who are you stepping into? Who are you becoming? Someone who can do hard things. Amazing. Everyone, take the lead. Who do you want to identify as, right? Who are you outgrowing? Who are you becoming? Who are you becoming? What identity would you like to step into? One of the things in my Rewire and Rise program is that on Mondays and Fridays, I always give an inspirational post, something to prime the brain. And I ask everyone to choose an alter ego. Mine is Julie La Française because I'm such a Francophile, and that is the identity that I love to take on. What is the identity you want to take on? Stephanie said, I want to identify as someone who eats intuitively and mindfully. Okay. Okay. Thank you for that share. And everybody else who is here, please, you're here, you showed up, participate because then you're going to get more out of it. The more you participate, the more you're going to integrate. It's really important, right? You don't want to just passively take this in. So if you can type in the chat, what identity do you want to take on? Who are you outgrowing? And I love this quote from John Steinbeck. And now that you don't have to be perfect, you can be good. This idea that we're not about perfection, right? But we are about committing to stepping into the identity that we have been fantasizing about. Who is the you want to be? Okay, Stephanie, keep going. You are a mindful eater. I love all that clarity there. Fantastic. All right, everyone, I'll call out your responses when you put them in. But again, we're talking about rewiring the brain, right? Rewriting your self-concept. Again, that comes from internal shifts. Beliefs shape our identity. So the way that you see yourself, your self-image is going to drive your actions. And as you repeat this, you're rewiring your identity. And we are so good. Here's my friend Murray the dinosaur. We are so good at listening to Murray and all the negative things that Murray fixates on. And we repeat that over and over and over again. And unfortunately, whatever we repeat, we become, right? So we want new stories so that we can create a new life. We want to start repeating a whole new story, right? Stephanie's is I am a mindful eater. Suzanne is I am a calm and sweet person. I am not focused on food. Let's not talk about what you don't want, Suzanne. Instead, I am a calm and sweet person who is life focused, right? We're focusing on what you want. I am a calm and sweet person who is life focused. Okay, Tracy, I want you to try to phrase that in a way that is focusing on the identity you want, not what you're doing with other people and not what you're not doing. What are you ready to practice? Julianne, I am a person who is in the moment. Okay, you have presence. right? So, Tracy, if you need a little help workshopping that, let me know. Okay. I want you to think about the identity you're ready to practice. Carl Rogers says the curious paradox is that when I accept myself just as I am, then I can change, right? From that place of peace and acceptance and self love and compassion, this is how I am now. This is where I'm going. This is where I'm going. So, again, what identity are you ready to practice? Who do you want to become? Right? So maybe Tracy, I am a person who accepts others. I am going to practice. Okay, again, Tracy, you're telling me what what you're not going to do. How about I accept others as they are? They're on their journey, I am on mine. I am a person who lets other people be, and I focus on what I want for myself. Right? Because what other people think, do, say, how they act, it's a circumstance. You can't change it. You can only focus on yourself. So I'd really like you to focus on who you are becoming. I'm a person who trusts that other people are on their own journey, and it's actually none of my business. What is my business is what I do with me, right? I can change. I am somebody who continues to evolve and grow and change. Think about it that way, right? Frame it in the way that you want it for yourself. Yeah, well, or instead of worry, like I focus, wow, Tracy, here we are, right? So like let's think about this as I am a person who focuses on growth. I am a person who focuses on accepting others and accepting myself. Stephanie, I am someone who knows how to take good care of myself. Beautiful. Love it. Love it. Okay. And again, we're rising, right? Rewire and rise. We're rising into that new self. We're rewiring our brain and stepping into that new version of ourself. Evolution is allowed. Identity grows through choice. Choose this new version of you and then support yourself through that. As you choose this new version of you, you are accelerating that change, right? Who do you become when you let yourself evolve? Isn't that an exciting thing to think about? I wonder who I will become if I let myself evolve. If I stop listening to Murray, if I start focusing on what I want for myself, right? Become who you are, says Nietzsche, right? And again, in my group coaching program in Rewire and Rise, this is what we do intentionally, right? We rewire our brains so that we can step into this identity, who we are becoming. Okay, well, Tracy, I am like a broken record with you, but you could join the group and get some coaching there, right? It's hard to accept others. I don't want to, that they don't want to improve because I work hard to improve myself. And I'm going to counter that actually it's very hard to do the impossible. You can never change other people. It is impossible to change others. So that is futile. And that is why what you're doing is hard. What is easier is saying, that's their journey. I'm on my journey. And maybe part of improving yourself, as you're putting it, and you don't need to improve yourself, but if you want to start evolving, maybe part of that comes from acceptance of other people, knowing they're on their path. I can be a light. I can lead the way. I can focus on enjoying my life and working on my own growth. Okay, and just a little bit, and then we'll get to some coaching about how to work with me. Okay, so if you go to juliemancoaching.com, you can find all about one-on-one coaching with me. The retreat, there's a retreat coming up in August. That'll be really fun. And I also offer 7 and 30-day resets. So there's one spot left for my July 1st start next week for the 30-day reset, which is 30 days of one-on-one support from me. Very high-touch program for somebody who's really serious about making a change and getting through those 30 days. So those are some options. And then, of course, my favorite is Rewire and Rise. That is the best bet, best bang for your buck, really, because you get weekly live coaching on Sundays at 10 for an hour. But also, you get 24 hours a day, 7 days a week coaching from me using the private forum. I am always responding, I am there all the time. And I give monthly workbooks on all the themes. Each month, there's a different theme. Each week, there's a different topic related to the theme. And you get all of that. So you get all the prior calls, all the prior workbooks, all the prior lessons, all the guided meditations, and everything I've done for the past 6 years. It's all there. So again, if you're interested, just go to juliemancoaching.com. And now I will stop sharing my screen and we will get to coaching. So who would like some coaching? Just raise your hand or unmute, and I will be happy to coach you. And you are here, so I hope you use the time.
Julie, this is
Yes.
might be a dumb question, but
There's
can
no
we
such thing.
can we define an urge? Is I did the lesson on well, I forget the name of it, but it was about the urge. So
About allowing urges.
yeah,
Yeah, I
s-
mean, an urge is a desire, over desire for something. So it could be food, it could be binging, right? But it also could be shopping, it could be social media,
yeah,
it could be anything. An urge is an over desire, right? A really strong desire to do something when when with your higher brain you know that it doesn't serve you,
doesn't
right? Like
serve you.
now,
Okay,
the thing is that urges are human and normal, right? Like if we didn't have urges to eat or to procreate, have sex, right, we would die as a species. It's normal to have urges. But when we're talking about urges in the sense of compulsive habits, the problem is that they've become problematic, right? They feel so strong, right? They feel overwhelming. And that's usually, as you know, Suzanne is
I
a member
know.
of Rewire and Rise, right? And so she was looking at the lesson on allowing urges. And the thing is that when you're having that strong urge in the beginning, it feels like you're going to die, right? Murray says, oh my God, if you don't do this, you're going to die. But the truth is that urges, if you peacefully allow them, they move through you in about 90 seconds.
Yeah,
But most people, they resist them, they entertain them, they elongate them, they start,
elongate.
yeah, right? You start fantasizing, ooh, it would be so good to have that, or it would be so good to do that. And when we do that, we make the urge bigger and stronger. We make it harder on ourselves. So great question, Suzanne. Does that make
Thank
sense to
you.
you?
Yes, yeah, and I've experienced them. I don't. I guess I never put a word on them, but for them, but I've experienced it many, many times. So I know
Yeah,
it.
good, good. Yeah, and the best thing to do, when an urge comes is be like, "Oh, I'm having an urge. Of course I am. I'm a human. I have a human brain." Like, no big deal. Because we have a lot of urges that we completely ignore and don't take seriously. It's just often around the pain point, the thing that we're trying not to do, that we start to get all freaked out. And the
Yeah.
best thing to do is just stay calm and trust that it's going to move. You don't have to do anything. It will move through you. And as you don't act on the urge, they get quieter and quieter and quieter, and your brain stops throwing them out. Sorry.
Mhm.
Great, great
Thank
question,
you.
Suzanne. Yeah, my pleasure, my pleasure. Who else? Who else has a question? And you can ask me about coaching also if you have questions about the group, about working with me, anything at all. You're here, so and if you can't speak out loud, you can type your question in the chat. That's fine, and I will respond in that way. But please use the time.
So I'll go. I'm Stephanie.
Yeah, hi.
This is my first time joining a call like this, but I've been in the brain over binge world for a long time.
Uh-huh.
And I'm not exactly sure where to start, but the past couple of days I've been very bingy. I've been very in the habit of, kind of comfort food seeking, and um, I'm just trying to like recenter and like come back to myself. Something that is kind of part of the trouble for me is that I have this um rigid dependency on coffee to produce a bowel movement. I have this rigid like rule in my head that I need to have a bowel movement first thing in the morning before I can eat or leave the house. It's sort of like my way of purging. Um, Even though it doesn't have to be extreme, but if I don't do that, it will actually, the distress of not having had a bowel movement will will lead to me overeating in a ridiculous, irrational way of trying
Okay.
to force a bowel movement.
Yeah, so I want you to notice that that's this arbitrary rule that you've
It is.
created. Right,
Yes.
but I like you've named it and you've stated it publicly, which is very brave of you, right? So like give yourself so much credit there. You have all the awareness and you're getting help because you see like this is not rational.
It's not rational.
And
Yeah.
it's actually a prison of your own making. There's a great Rumi quote, like,
Right.
why do I stay in prison when the doors are so wide open? And there's
Mm,
a really amazing image. I don't have it right access to it right now, but it's a woman holding a bird cage over her head, right? It's like just take the bird cage off.
uh-huh.
So the thing is for you, Stephanie, like in my group, I have a lesson called urge loops. And and actually, I believe that I recorded a podcast with Catherine about that as well. But the notion is that we all have our unique individual urge loops, right? So in general, it's like the urge to the urge to binge, the urge to restrict, the urge to beat yourself up, the urge to fixate on
Yeah.
weight, like that. But we're going to add in for you, right? Like the urge to, base your ability to eat on whether or not you've had a bowel movement. Okay,
Right.
so like it's really important to see that. It's really important to see like that's just my urge loop. So
Yeah.
the healing for you is actually going to come from like I'm going to trust the wisdom of my body. I am going to believe that my body has its own timeline. It's going to do its thing and that I am going to eat consistently and regularly on the clock, regardless, because my body will process the food. And that's going to be very uncomfortable for a while because you've been rewarding that urge to restrict until, whatever. It's like for a lot of people, it's like for other people, it's I can't eat unless I exercise. I can't eat unless I've fasted for this amount of time. All of that sets up this binge restrict pattern that will keep you stuck in that cycle indefinitely. And it's a hell of your own making.
Mhm.
So now that you know it, right, the work, the healing, the discomfort is going to come from saying, no matter what, I am going to eat my meals and I'm going to trust that my body's going to process it. And I'm going to have urges to say, well, you didn't have a bowel movement, so now you need to overeat. You've blown it, or whatever your brain is telling you. I mean, none of that makes any sense because overeating overloads the system, which shuts down your digestion. Plus, if you're eating when you're stressed, that shuts down your digestion, right? At the beginning of the call, I did that whole like calm, slow your breathing down. The things that are going to help your digestion, right? If that's a concern of yours. And I know you mentioned, like, I'm a person who eats mindfully. Now, I know you wrote intuitively. I have to say, I'm not a fan of intuitive eating. And as a binge eating coach, I never recommend that. I believe that people who struggle with this, you put yourself on a clock. You eat your
Okay.
meals no matter what. It's 9 o'clock, I eat breakfast. It's 12 o'clock, I eat my lunch. It's 3 o'clock, I have
Okay.
my snack. It's 6 o'clock. I have my dinner, no matter what, with
Okay.
gentle boundaries around them. Because then in between, it's just an urge. And
Okay.
then for you, it would be it's 9 o'clock. I haven't, gone to the bathroom, but I'm going to have my breakfast anyway. And then you say, woohoo, go me. You ring your bell. Like you put a sticker on the chart, you put a bead in the jar, you celebrate that I'm doing this no matter what. And before you eat, you're going to be anxious. So you make sure you put your hands on your heart. You slow your heart rate way, 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 way down. You calm yourself. You take a beat and you remember The way to have great digestion is by eating slowly and calmly and honoring the wisdom of your body. Does
Thank
all of
you.
that make sense?
It does. I think what also comes up is, there are part of the rationalizations around it is, oh, well, it's really inconvenient to have a bowel movement in public, or once I've already started a meeting and now I suddenly have to go. And like the part of the rationale is building it around um, convenience, but also the feeling of like, okay, well, I'm I've purged, I'm thinner, even though I'm not necessarily, but
Yeah,
it's
right.
like
So
all
again,
those
it's
things.
it's just another form of bulimia in all, you know, like you're not using maybe medical laxatives, you're using coffee, but it's the same thing. It's the same thing. And it's again, it's going to be about not doing the thing. I mean, how do you change a habit in 3 steps? One, decide what it is that you want to change. Two, don't do the thing. And then three, celebrate. That's it.
Okay.
You're going to be uncomfortable. Murray's going to be like, whatever lower, all of those things. It's not convenient. I'll have to change. I mean, you're worrying about things that, like, again, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Like, I think intellectually, you understand that you'll be fine. But
Yeah.
but you've created this paradigm which is part of your urge loop, and it's your form of purging. And so to change it, you're going to have to say, I'm putting myself on a clock. I'm going to eat my meals no matter what. I might be uncomfortable for a few days, and that's okay. I can be uncomfortable because what I'm doing is way more uncomfortable.
So with the eating clock, how many hours in
I
between?
can't give you rules.
Okay.
What I'm trying to say is that you decide. Like,
Okay.
some people like to have 3 big meals a day. Some people like to do 3 meals and a snack. Some people like to do 3 meals and 2 snacks. Some people like to do 3 meals and 3 snacks. But the idea is that you look at your schedule and your life. Like, some people start their days very early. Some people start their days very late. Like, I'm not in your body, I'm not in your lifestyle. So what works for me is not going to work for you, right? But it's about looking and creating your own formula. In Stephanie's life, I get up at 4 in the morning, so it makes sense that I'm eating breakfast pretty early. And then I have a very long day, so I need 3 meals and 2 snacks. Like, you're going to decide and trust. This is not a forever plan. It's going to be messy. You're going to have to try it, tweak it, adapt it, try again, tweak, adapt, right? You're going to see how it feels. But when I say try, tweak, adapt, I don't mean I did it for one day. I was uncomfortable because I didn't purge and I didn't go to the bathroom or whatever it is. And so it's not working. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is commit to, I'm going to try this for 2 weeks or
Okay.
30 days, right? And then I'm going to reassess, right? I'm going to see, oh, actually, I get really hungry between breakfast and lunch, so I need 2 snacks, or whatever it is. This amount of food doesn't keep me full long enough, so I'm going to add to this meal and I'm going to diminish that meal. You're your own best expert. And again, Stephanie, I encourage you to join the group because you can get so much coaching around this, so much coaching around this. And the second you join, you get access to everything. So something to
Okay.
consider. Great
Thank you.
question. Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna just wrap things up here. Tracy said, does it make sense to set a timer for 90 seconds? You're welcome to do that, Tracy. If you have the wherewithal to do that, if, oh, I'm having an urge, let me set a timer. I mean, on it, for those of us with an Apple Watch, it's super easy to just set a timer because it's always on our arm. If you have, or your phone, right? So it's pretty easy to do. And if you want to try that out and see if it helps you, have at it. What have you got to lose, right? Great question. All right, everyone. So we are pretty much at the end of the call. I always ask people to share a takeaway. You came, you showed up. What is something you're taking with you today from this call? So please share in the chat. What is something you're going to take with you? Is it about the new identity you're going to step into? Is it about allowing urges? Tracy said, I will picture being a lighthouse to be the light. Okay, fantastic. And again, Tracy, like make sure it's for your own light, right? Because you can be the lighthouse and other people just don't look. And that's okay. That's them, not you, right? So again, make sure that in choosing to be the lighthouse, it's because it feels good to you to be the lighthouse, not because you have a motive of making other people a certain way. As Stephanie said, I'm going to try putting myself on a structured eating plan for a week. Okay, great. 2 weeks, 2 weeks at least. A week is nothing in the scheme of a life and in the scheme of habit change. Suzanne, understanding urges and stepping into my new place and identity. Beautiful. I love it. Who else? Any other takeaways? Anybody? So again, I hope to see some of you in Rewire and Rise tomorrow at 10 or in some other capacity. And, just be so proud of yourselves for showing up for yourself today. It was lovely to be with you as always. And we'll do it again next month at the end of the month if you're not joining the group. And yeah, I'll see you all soon. So have a great day, everyone. Bye.